Hey everyone, Chris Fix here. Today, we're diving into a topic that every car enthusiast and DIYer dreads: rust. It's that pesky reddish-brown menace that seems to have a personal vendetta against our beloved metal parts, especially on our cars. But don't worry, because by the end of this video, you'll be armed with all the knowledge and tools you need to tackle rust head-on. Let's talk about rust, that reddish-brown menace that loves to attack our metal parts, especially on our cars. Rust is essentially iron oxide, and it forms when iron or its alloys like steel react with oxygen and moisture. This reaction is accelerated by salt, which is why cars in coastal areas or places that use road salt in winter are particularly susceptible. Rust is a real pain, making parts look old and worn out. It doesn't just ruin the appearance of your car or tools, it can also compromise their structural integrity. Over time, rust eats away at the metal, making it brittle and weak. This can lead to parts breaking or failing, which can be both dangerous and expensive to fix. It can even weaken metal over time, leading to costly repairs. Imagine driving down the road and suddenly a crucial part fails because it was weakened by rust. Not only is this a safety hazard, but it can also lead to hefty repair bills. That's why it's so important to address rust as soon as you notice it. But don't worry, I'm here to show you some easy ways to tackle rust and bring your metal back to its former glory. Whether you're a seasoned mechanic or a weekend warrior, these methods are simple and effective. You don't need a lot of fancy equipment or expensive products, just a bit of elbow grease and some common household items. Whether you're dealing with a rusty bumper, tools, or any other metal bits, I've got you covered. Rust can attack any metal surface, so it's important to know how to deal with it no matter where it shows up. From car parts to garden tools, these techniques will help you restore your metal items to their former glory. In this guide, we'll explore some powerful home remedies that use common household ingredients to fight rust. For example, did you know that vinegar and baking soda can be incredibly effective at removing rust? These items are cheap, readily available, and safe to use. I'll show you step by step how to use them to get rid of rust. We'll also delve into effective commercial products that pack a punch against stubborn rust. Sometimes home remedies aren't enough, especially for heavy rust. That's where commercial rust removers come in. I'll review some of the best products on the market and show you how to use them for maximum effectiveness. I'll explain how each method works and why it's effective. Understanding the science behind rust removal can help you choose the best method for your specific situation. Whether you're using a home remedy or a commercial product, knowing how and why it works will make the process easier and more effective. Plus, I'll share some simple tips to prevent rust from rearing its ugly head in the future. Prevention is always better than cure, and there are several easy steps you can take to protect your metal items from rust. From applying anti-rust coatings to keeping your items dry, these tips will help you keep rust at bay. So if you're ready to declare war on rust and give your metal a new lease on life, then let's get started. Grab your tools, gather your supplies, and let's dive into the world of rust removal. By the end of this video, you'll be a rust-busting pro ready to tackle any rusty challenge that comes your way. Let's kick things off with a rust-fighting superhero found right in your kitchen: vinegar. Yes, you heard that right. This common household item, often used for cooking and cleaning, has a hidden talent that many people overlook. It's not just for making your salad dressings tangy or your windows sparkling clean. Vinegar can be a powerful ally in your battle against rust. That's right, plain old white vinegar can work wonders on rusted metal. It's an affordable, non-toxic, and eco-friendly solution that you probably already have in your pantry. No need for expensive rust removers or harsh chemicals. Vinegar is all you need to restore your rusty tools, bolts, and other metal items to their former glory. But how does it work? Vinegar contains acetic acid, which is the secret weapon against rust. This acid is what gives vinegar its sour taste and strong smell. When it comes to rust removal, acetic acid is a game changer. It reacts with the rust, breaking it down and making it easier to remove. When acetic acid comes into contact with rust, a chemical reaction occurs. This reaction dissolves the rust, loosening its grip on the metal. You can actually see the rust breaking down and dissolving into the vinegar. It's a fascinating process to watch, almost like a science experiment happening right in your kitchen. This reaction dissolves the rust, loosening its grip on the metal. The longer you let the vinegar work, the more rust it will dissolve. It's a simple yet effective method that requires minimal effort on your part. Just let the vinegar do its thing, and you'll be amazed at the results. To use vinegar for rust removal, simply submerge the rusty part in a container filled with vinegar. Make sure the entire rusty area is fully covered by the vinegar. If the item is too large to fit in a container, you can use a plastic bag filled with vinegar and seal it around the item. Depending on the severity of the rust, you'll want to let it soak for at least a few hours, or even overnight for heavily rusted items. The longer the soak, the more effective the vinegar will be at breaking down the rust. For light rust, a few hours might be enough. For more stubborn rust, an overnight soak is recommended. For larger parts that can't be submerged, you can use a spray bottle filled with vinegar to thoroughly wet the rusty areas. Make sure to spray enough vinegar to completely cover the rust. You might need to reapply the vinegar several times to keep the area wet. Keep the surface wet with vinegar for an extended period to allow the acetic acid to work its magic. You can also use a vinegar-soaked rag to cover the rusted area. Just make sure to keep the rag wet by spraying it with more vinegar as needed. You can even boost the effectiveness of vinegar by adding a tablespoon of salt to it. The salt acts as a mild abrasive, helping to further loosen the rust. This combination of vinegar and salt is especially effective for heavily rusted items. The salt acts as a mild abrasive, helping to further loosen the rust. As the salt dissolves in the vinegar, it creates a slightly gritty solution that can scrub away the rust more effectively. This method is great for items with deep rust or hard-to-reach areas. After soaking the item in vinegar, you can use a brush to scrub away the loosened rust. A wire brush or an old toothbrush works well for this. The scrubbing action helps to remove any remaining rust particles and leaves the metal surface clean and smooth. Once you've scrubbed away the rust, rinse the item thoroughly with water to remove any remaining vinegar and rust particles. Make sure to dry the item completely to prevent new rust from forming. You can use a cloth or let it air dry. To protect the metal from future rust, you can apply a thin layer of oil to the surface. This creates a barrier that prevents moisture from coming into contact with the metal. You can use any type of oil such as vegetable oil, motor oil, or a specialized metal protectant. And there you have it. With just a little bit of vinegar and some patience, you can transform rusty old items into shiny, rust-free treasures. It's an easy, cost-effective, and environmentally friendly way to tackle rust in your home. So next time you encounter rust, remember that your kitchen's rust warrior vinegar is ready to save the day. Next up, we have another kitchen staple that's a powerhouse against rust: baking soda. Baking soda, also known as sodium bicarbonate, is mildly abrasive and can effectively lift away rust without being too harsh on the metal. It's like a gentle scrub for your rusty parts. To use baking soda, create a thick paste by mixing it with a small amount of water. Apply this paste generously to the rusted areas and let it sit for about 15 to 20 minutes. Then, using a scrub brush, old toothbrush, or even a crumpled piece of aluminum foil, scrub the paste over the rust. You'll see the rust start to come off as you scrub. Once you've scrubbed the area well, simply rinse off the paste with water and dry the metal thoroughly. Baking soda is a great option for smaller rusty tools, parts with intricate details, or areas where you want a gentler approach. Now let's talk about a natural rust-busting duo, lemon and salt. This dynamic combination is not only effective, but also eco-friendly and easy to find in most kitchens. If you've been struggling with rust on your tools, kitchenware, or any metal items, this method might just be the solution you've been looking for. This combination might sound surprising, but it's a surprisingly effective way to tackle rust. Many people are unaware of the powerful properties of these common household items. Lemons and salt are not just for cooking, they can be your go-to for a variety of cleaning tasks, especially rust removal. The citric acid in lemons works similarly to vinegar, dissolving rust and loosening its hold on the metal. Citric acid is a natural chelating agent, which means it binds to the iron oxide, rust, and helps to break it down. This makes it easier to remove the rust without damaging the underlying metal. Salt, on the other hand, acts as a mild abrasive, helping to scrub away the loosened rust. The granular texture of salt makes it perfect for scrubbing off the rust particles that have been loosened by the citric acid. This dual action of dissolving and scrubbing makes lemon and salt a powerful rust removal team. To use this method, cut a lemon in half and sprinkle salt over the cut side. The salt will stick to the lemon, creating a natural scrubbing pad. This simple preparation step is crucial for maximizing the effectiveness of the rust removal process. Then rub the lemon directly onto the rusted surface. The combination of the citric acid and the abrasive salt will start to work immediately, breaking down the rust and making it easier to remove. Make sure to apply a bit of pressure as you rub to ensure the salt can effectively scrub the rust away. You can also squeeze some lemon juice onto the rust and then sprinkle salt over it. This method is particularly useful for larger areas or for items that are difficult to rub with a lemon half. The lemon juice will penetrate the rust and the salt will provide the necessary abrasion to remove it. Let the mixture sit on the rust for a couple of hours, allowing the citric acid and salt to do their thing. This waiting period is essential as it gives the citric acid time to break down the rust and the salt to prepare the surface for scrubbing. Patience is key here. The longer you let it sit, the more effective the treatment will be. Afterwards, scrub the area with the lemon half or a scrub brush, and then rinse and dry thoroughly. The scrubbing action will help to remove any remaining rust particles, and rinsing will wash away the acidic residue. Drying the item thoroughly is crucial to prevent any new rust from forming. This method is particularly handy for smaller rust spots or for a quick and natural rust removal solution. It's a great way to maintain your metal items without resorting to harsh chemicals. Plus, it's a cost-effective solution that uses ingredients you likely already have at home. So, next time you spot some rust, reach for a lemon and some salt and give this natural method a try. You'll be amazed at how well it works.